This is how we gather in, and there is room at the table for everyone. Too long we have wandered, burdened and undone, and there is room at the table for everyone. Let us sing the new world in. This is how it all begins. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. Let our hearts not be hardened to those living on the margins. There is room at the table for everyone. This is how we gather in. This is how it all begins. There is room at the table for everyone. Room at the table for everyone. Room at the table for everyone. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room at the table for everyone.
Good morning. Welcome to Unitarian Universalist Church West on this last Sunday in February in Brookfield. The nation recognizes Black History Month during this month, February. Our congregation, as an anti-racist faith community, acknowledges that we benefit from raising awareness of racism 12 months a year. We analyze, plan, and engage in the struggle to end white supremacy culture in our hearts, in our community, and in our world. As a welcoming congregation to gay, lesbian, transgendered, bisexual, and queer plus peoples, we continue to address ongoing homophobia, violence, and unfair legislation that targets them. Finally, we live here in southeast Wisconsin and realize that we took this land from the native peoples that lived here before us. We're grateful to be here, and we're beholden to learn the history and work towards reparations for the 7 council fires, Ho-Chunk, Kickapoo, Potawatomi, Menominee, Peoria, and Miami nations. My name is Larry Hawley, and I serve on UUCW's Board of Trustees. In an attempt, early on, before when Reverend Denise was here, in an attempt to excel as a board member, I took 2 UUA classes, Beloved Conversation, which attempts to embody racial justice as a spiritual practice, and the Extended Leadership Experience. So many of us here consistently work to improve from the inside out. So many past leaders have inspired me. So how do we reach out? We reach out with love. This congregation expands beyond these walls to those who are joining us virtually. Welcome. Wherever you are right now, whatever your age or color, whatever your gender identity, whatever your chosen beliefs, whoever you love, you are welcome here. We are so lucky to have Reverend Julie Stoneberg with us again for a sermon about just and equitable stewardship. I'm going to listen with the idea, if you improve yourself, you will improve our congregation. Let me point out the short version of how to settle in, how to participate at UUCW on a Sunday morning. Welcome newcomers. Please fill out the welcome side of the yellow form in your order of service and bring it to the newcomers table. That's right, venture in the community room and chat with somebody. If you are new online, please email us at visitor@uucw.org. Welcome children. After the story for all ages, children and youth through grade 6 are invited to go to your individual programming. The middle schoolers are asked to just stay in the service today as there's no program. And high schoolers have a program that starts at 11:30. I guess they self-chose that. And if you need to, you see them keeping busy at the worship exploration table. That's always available for children that choose to stay in the service. Please see Bree Chamberlain in the back if you have any questions today, as Dave Cicero is not here. Welcome virtual listeners. You are invited to participate in Joys and Concerns by texting Reverend Julie at 262-813-6877. We'll repeat that later. I have a few announcements I'd like to highlight. But as you leave the service, you normally recycle some paper. My request would be that you keep the announcements. Where'd that go? Keep the announcements so that you know what's coming up in the weeks and months ahead. We have plenty of activities always happening here. So my highlighted announcements are based on deadlines. First is breaking bread with church members. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays for lunch and or dinner, March 8th through March 17th. Think of this as part lunchtime with Reverend Julie and part dinners in the home. Breaking bread is eating together and sharing stories about UUCW in our lives. The deadline is tomorrow, February 26th. Please sign up to see the announcements. Another announcement is about Beloved Conversations, which I spoke of earlier. There is a 12-week virtual program starting March 12th. I vouch for the quality of the program, and you will learn and reflect and process with other UUs across the Midwest region. Registration in the e-news ends Thursday, February 29th. You don't have a lot of time for those first two. There is a good mix of videos, readings, music, and self-reflection to guide us toward building a beloved community. And finally, the search team is continuing to interview candidates to be our next settled minister. They will extend an offer to one candidate toward the end of March, and the congregation, we hope everyone participates, will vote to call the settled minister toward the end of April. Now that we have the business of coming together squared away, let's settle in, center ourselves, and sing, Gather the Spirit. It is hymn 347. Please rise in body and or spirit.
Again, the Spirit of again. Gather the Spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun. Winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
The mission of this gathered community is to ground yourselves in love and joy and to commit ourselves to spiritual growth, inclusion, and justice. This mission is possible, very possible. And that's why you're here, because you've chosen to accept this mission. Now, if singer-songwriter Carrie Newcomer were here to offer this morning's invocation, she might say this: here in this space, there is room. This is how we gather in, letting our hearts soften to all those who need a place. There is room here. Here we sing in a new world and build the beloved community. Here, no gift is too small, and always there is enough. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, you belong, we belong. This is our gathering. There is room at the table for everyone. Come, let us worship together. And now let's light our chalice.
Our chalice lighting today is by Erica Hewitt and is called Bold and Courageous Together. She begins with these words. The word courage comes from the Latin cor, which means heart. According to the poet Mark Nepo, the original use of the word courage meant to stand by one's core. A striking concept that reinforces the belief found in almost all traditions that living from the center is what enables us to face whatever life has to offer. To encourage means to hearten, to impart strength and confidence. This is our work as a religious community, to encourage one another, to be bold in engaging the world around us, as well as what scares us internally, to give one another the confidence and heart to live as fully as possible. Now please join me in the words printed in the order of service. With full hearts, we affirm our relationships with one another. We recognize our agency and our connective power, and we accept our responsibility to be bold and courageous. We light this chalice, symbol of all that we are, all that we have done together, and all that we will be as our shared ministry encourages those within and beyond our walls. With these words reminding us that the work of this congregation is a shared ministry, we light our chalice.
And now I invite Sophia up to light the RE lantern here by a flaming chalice. Also, all of you wonderful children who are heading off to RE. And their teachers are going off and follow our lantern leader, while the rest of us join in singing our children's recessional. Is Right there. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go.
Peace, no, love is with you always as you go, as you go. Oh. Mission possible. If you are successful, and I know you will be, what will this community look like in 2030 or 2050 or beyond that? What is possible? You've all been invited to write a letter to the future, UUCW, expressing maybe how you hope our efforts and dreams today will impact those who will follow us. And any of you could share your thoughts in this way, either by speaking on a Sunday or writing something to share in the e-news. So please let me know if you'd like to do that. And today, Marjorie May has a letter to share.
Dear future UUCW, thank you for being my very own personal rainbow connection. When I was a little kid, there was a man named Jim Henson who made puppets. He called them Muppets. Jim Henson's Muppets became world famous. They came in all shapes, sizes, and colors. They represented humans, animals, monsters, and aliens. Through them, we saw our reflection. Despite their hilarious mishaps, misunderstandings, disagreements, in the end, those Muppets always ended up embracing the values of acceptance and love. A Muppet named Kermit the Frog once sang a song about rainbows, right about the time they were first adopted as a beautiful symbol of love's diversity by the gay community. Rainbows went on to symbolize love and acceptance in many communities over the years, and I can't help but think of the lyrics as I reflect on what rainbows have come to represent to me personally. Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Right around the time I found UU, the term spectrum became a common word within my own family. My children and I started learning about what it means to be on a spectrum in more ways than one, and what it means to be an ally. My family was and is a testament to diversity. We're a racially mixed, neurodiverse, gender nonconforming, consensually non-monogamous bunch. 30 years ago, we knew very well what it was like to be excluded, ignored, and bullied. This often left us anxious, depressed, and not well grounded in love. Regular respite was needed and deep in our souls. Diversity and inclusion became more than a buzzword to me. It became my passion. I knew that it wasn't we who needed to change to fit in. It was the world that needed to change its heart. To simply let us belong, I went in search of my tribe. There had to be people like me who could see in color, and I found them here at UUCW. Back in those days, a suburb in Wisconsin was an unlikely place to find racial or ethnic minorities, folks openly divergent in their thinking and expression. Back then, there weren't a lot of spaces that were emotionally safe and welcoming to those who challenged the status quo. Together with UUCW, we created a safe space to belong. For me, it started with an affinity group, the Rainbow Connection. And for the past 30 years, I've enjoyed connecting with so many people with such diverse experiences and perspectives. In this safe space, I belonged. Everyone did. You who held me with love in all of my strangeness helped to bring out my authentic shine. It's hard to believe now, looking back, how a simple thing like love and acceptance can make such a big difference. I forgot how hard it was to believe that dreams of peace and harmony were possible, that someday we'd find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. I invite you to join me in the Rainbow Connection event on Friday, March 1st, or we're going to be doing every other Fridays and Saturdays. You can check the calendar. And then just help me celebrate diversity and inclusion at UUCW. Metasutta, namaste.
Thank you so much, Marjorie. Gordon B. McKeeman was the president of Star King School for the Ministry from 1983 to 1988, which seems like a really long time ago now. And yet, in his influence on the nature and the shape of the Unitarian Universalist ministry endure, I share these well-loved words as an introduction to our time of meditation. Ministry is all that we do together. Ministry is that quality of being in community that affirms human dignity, beckons forth hidden possibilities, invites us into deeper, more constant, reverent relationships, and carries forward our heritage of hope and liberation. Ministry is what we do together as we celebrate triumphs of our human spirit, miracles of birth and life, wonders of devotion and sacrifice. Ministry is what we do together with one another in terror and torment, in grief, in misery and pain, enabling us in the presence of death to say yes to life. We who minister speak and live the best we know with full knowledge that it is never quite enough, and yet are reassured by lostness found, fragments reunited, wounds healed, and joy shared. Ministry is what we all do together. So let's sing again. Kaleidoscope will lead us in singing Open My Heart. It's a round, and the words are, open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give. Those who are able and willing are invited to stand, and Kaleidoscope will lead us, and we're going to sing it through once and then break into a 3-part round and then sing the round 3 more times. So let's go.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to lead the north section, and Deb is going to lead the center section, and Linda's going to lead
So
this section.
again, we'll do it all together once, and then the north section will start, and when you see the number 2 in your music, that's when the middle section will start. Oh, you don't have the music. So open my heart, and then you'll do open my heart, and you'll do open my heart. It comes kind of quickly, so watch your leader.
So all together.
Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give.
We make time most Sundays to share pieces of our lives with one another. We do this as part of the ministry that we do together in order to reassure ourselves that in our lostness we can be found, that fragments can be reunited, wounds healed, and joys shared. In a moment, you'll be invited to come to this mic to share maybe what's exciting or joyful or painful or worrisome in your life. If you're online and you'd like me to light a candle for you, you can text me. What you share aloud is only for the ears of those gathered at this moment. It will not be included in the posted video of the service. What you share in writing, either via the yellow slip that you received when you came in or the QR code in the order of service or through the e-news, will only be shared as you indicate. It can be shared in the e-news for everyone to read. It can be shared with our lay pastoral team, or just with me. So if you'd like to share aloud now, come here to the mic, or if you wish to remain seated, an usher will bring you a mic if you raise your hand. I'll light a candle for you, and after each sharing, invite you to all respond with me, "We hold you in love." So come now. If you think you'd like to speak, just form lines to the side. I hope that you've all had a chance to read the Unitarian Universalist Association statement on Israel and Hamas. And this candle is a call in line with that letter, a call for a ceasefire. I also want to light a candle of celebration for the events that have happened in Wisconsin that have brought us to a place of having more fair and representative voting maps. Yes. This is the last Sunday in February, the last Sunday in this month of Black History, and I appreciate what Larry said about we pay attention to Black history 12 months a year. But this candle is for Black history, and if you haven't done anything yet, go home and watch a movie, read a book, learn something. And then I want to light a candle for everyone who's with us online, to celebrate that you're with us, to let you know that we know you're here, we love you, we hold you in love. And then just one last candle for all that remains in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts. We might not share it aloud, but all of us walk with joys and sorrows, concerns every day. Know that this community is here for you. We hold you in love. And I invite you into a moment of silence as we hold all that's been shared.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, I'm calling every man. We're the generation who can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday and we're already late. We've been looking for a song to sing, searched for a melody, searched for someone to lead. We've been looking for the world to change. If you feel the same, then go on and say, if you're out there, sing along with me. If you're out there, broken promises, no more call to war, unless it's love and peace that we're really fighting for. We can destroy hunger, or we can conquer hate. Put down your arms, raise your voice, we're joining hands today. Oh, I was looking for a song to sing. I searched for a leader, but the leader was me. Yeah, we were looking for the world to change. We can be heroes, just go on and say, if you're out there, sing along with me. If you're out there, I'm dying to believe that you're out there. Stand up and say it loud. If you're out there, tomorrow's starting now. If you're ready, we can shake the world. Believe again, it starts within. We don't have to wait for destiny. We can be the change that we wanna see. If you're out there, if you're out there, if you're ready now, say it loud, scream it out. If you're out there, sing along with me. If you're out there, I'm dying to believe that you're out there. If you're out there, if you're out there, if you're out there, if you're out there. If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, I'm calling every man. We're the generation, we can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday, and we're already late.
Well, that's not fair. I'm Matthew Umstadt, pronouns he, him. I promise no silly voices this time. So we're going to read another story now, a story that contains a similar lesson as what the Little Red Hen teaches. This one, however, tells of a people who all participate in caring for their community. It's called Sustaining the Tree of Life, and it was written by Lynn Gardner. And as we listen, I want you to think and hold in your heart maybe somebody you might know, somebody famous who may need this message more than we do. The tree stood in the middle of the village. Its trunk was so large that it took 6 people holding hands to reach around it. The roots were strong and wide, and its branches spread out over the village square, offering shelter from the rain or shade from the summer sun. Its fruit was juicy, sweet, and plentiful. The people of the village loved the tree. Children played beneath it and climbed in its lowest branches. Young people knew that if you whispered your dreams to the tree, they were more likely to come true. People who proclaimed their love or friendship for one another beneath its branches found their relationships to be nourishing, and elders discovered that their sweetest memories could be counted on when they were near the great tree. The tree had been witness to so much, and when the breezes blew through the leaves, one could hear the echoes of generations, laughter, conversations, dreams, prayers, and songs. Animals loved the tree too. Rabbits lived in burrows under the roots. Squirrels and monkeys lived in the branches, and bats and birds flew in to eat the abundant fruit. The tree seemed to buzz with life. One day, a traveling merchant arrived in the village. He rested in the shade and ate 2 delicious pieces of fruit. "This fruit is incredible," he said. "I would like to have some to sell in the next villages that I visit. Who owns this tree?" "No one owns this tree," replied a villager. "If anything, we belong to it." "Well then, if no one owns a tree, then no one will mind if I pick the fruit," said the merchant, and began to fill a basket. "Well, I mind," said the villager, "and today I am the keeper of the tree." "What do you mean, keeper of the tree?" "We each take our turn being here with the tree. We could never own it. We are here as protectors, as sustainers." "That's ridiculous," the merchant said. "This tree doesn't need you. You could just take what you need, take what you want. The tree will continue." But the villager couldn't be persuaded. "Sir, this tree isn't like that. We don't come here to take from it, even though we receive so much. We are keepers of the tree because this is where we are nourished. This is where our most precious memories are, and where our people have dreamed. This is where we remember who we want to become." "Well," said the merchant, "you may think this tree is very special, but it still doesn't need you to sit with it. That's preposterous." "Ah," replied the villager, "the tree itself may not need me, but what of others who come by? Just this morning, I sat with a woman whose heart was heavy with worry. Had I not been here, she would have had to carry that weight alone. And this afternoon, a tired couple came by, and they rested with me. They said they had been looking for a place just like this. And then an elder came by, and we watched the birds in the branches together. And now, you are here. You were confused about what this tree is and how to be with it. Imagine if you had arrived and not found anyone here to talk with. You might have continued thinking that everything you do is all about you. Luckily for you, my friend, I'm here to let you know that when you care for the tree of life, it becomes about so much more than just you." The merchant sat a while in the shade, thinking about these ideas that felt new and a little bit challenging. As the sun went down, he picked up his bag and headed out of town, whistling a song he hadn't thought of in years. On his way, he shared a smile with each person he met, his heart feeling strangely light and joyful. And the people of the village, they continued to sustain the tree of life, to care for one another and to share their gifts with grace and gratitude. May it be so for each of us.
Thank you, Matt. Before I get started, I just wanted to say that I missed a text that came in, and so I lit a candle for Kristen Bussey and Dave Gross and their family, and they sent a word of thanks for everyone who's reached out and cared for them at this difficult time in their family. We hold them in love. So I really loved that reimagined version of the Little Red Hen story that Matt and Maya told us earlier, where the little red hen doesn't get resentful or stingy, but rather makes room at the table for everyone to have a piece of pizza pie, whether they helped prepare it or not. Because then, perhaps out of a sense of belonging and inclusion, those who were able helped to clean up. You know, it seems like the beloved community to me. Now, apart from the many, many moral lessons I picked up in childhood, I think that some version of the Little Red Hen is the story that resides most deeply in my DNA. I honestly don't remember being read the story. I'm sure we didn't have a picture book. We didn't have books as kids, but still, somehow, somewhere, I swallowed its traditional message, hook, line, and sinker. That is, if you want to eat, you have to help prepare the food. If you want the benefits, you must contribute. Don't goof off. Don't be a slacker. When asked to help, show up. Say yes. Well, okay, that's a good enough message, I guess. Not necessarily bad for the worker bees and the helpers, at least those who are able. But what about the head cook or the leader? What's the lesson for them? I actually kind of hate it that there's an old school little red hen living inside of me, who, when I think someone isn't doing their fair share, when I feel like I'm doing more than my fair share, and I think that comes from being part of a big family. Anyway, that little red hen speaks up and is not always generous and can be stingy and resentful. And I don't like her very much. Yet there she is. You know, I don't like her because her attitude about what's fair just doesn't sit right with my more grown-up ideas about justice and equity. The story I would rather tell and live is one of generosity and open-heartedness, and about a community where all can be fed, where there are no means tests to qualify for inclusion, where folks learn to respond out of a true sense of belonging by contributing in the ways that they're able to contribute. Is that just a fantasy? I really don't think so. Do you know the biblical parable of the workers? Like any parable, it can be and has been interpreted in many ways. Jesus tells of a landowner who goes out one morning and hires some men, agreeing to pay them a silver coin for a day's work. But then there's more work to do, so later in the day he has to hire some more men and their workers, and hires some at noon and some at 3 p.m. and even a few later. And he promises them all a fair wage. And when the end of the day comes, the landowner gives them their pay. And he starts with those hired last, even some that were hired as late as 5 p.m. And he gives each one a silver coin. So when the ones who had been hired early in the morning step up for their pay, they expect to receive more. But they are also given just one silver coin. And of course they're angry because they'd done a lot more work than those who had started later in the day. It just wasn't fair. Now, one way to understand the meaning in this parable is that this is what grace is like. Everybody eats. Everyone's deserving. This parable upsets the order of quid pro quo. It tells us that just because others are being treated with kindness and generosity, that doesn't mean that we're being done some kind of disservice, even when we feel like we did the work. It's not about being fair. It's about what's kind, what's compassionate, what's inclusive. None of us are included unless all of us are. Not truly. None of us is worthy unless all of us are. And some would say that the parable of the workers tells of how the kingdom of heaven looks. Everybody eats. So this is Stewardship Sunday. This is the day we're kicking off our annual pledge campaign. And I could talk about generosity and how much we need everyone to do their part, because that's true enough, for sure. But what I want to talk about is what a grace-filled, inclusive, beloved community looks like, particularly in terms of expectations about what a fair contribution might be. You know, it's kind of easy to slice a pie into equal parts with one piece for everyone, and everyone getting essentially the same size slice, no matter how hungry they are or whether they helped in preparing the pie. Or as long as you have a bag of coins, it's easy to give one to everyone without regard for how many hours they worked or whether or not they deserve it, whatever that means. It's harder to figure out how to make sure there are enough pies or coins. It's harder to keep the supply chain going if or when the production side of things seems unsure or a little tentative. You know, that's when we get anxious. We worry because we think that stash has to come from somewhere, and so we're tempted to try to parse out the responsibility to provide that stash into fair measures, to say that if you want to eat pie, you have to contribute in equal measure. If we used the pledge drive and budget as an example, we could just figure out the cost, divide it by the number of people, and then tell everyone what's expected of them. If there's a $100,000 budget and there's 100 members, then each person owes $1,000. It's pretty simple, right? And our capitalist culture has taught us to think like this. But I just can't reconcile that way of thinking with a vision of a beloved community. In the words of Paula Cole-Jones, beloved community happens when people of diverse racial, ethnic, educational, class, gender, abilities, sexual orientation, backgrounds, and identities come together in an interdependent relationship of love, mutual respect, and care that seeks to realize justice within the community and the larger world. And if you remember my message from a couple of weeks ago, justice exists when there are no barriers to exclusion. Here's the graphic I showed you then. Equal portions are not equitable, because if you give everyone the same thing, it doesn't necessarily help them in the same ways. And even equitable portions adjusted to account for differences aren't true justice, not until the barriers come down. And beloved community is a place without barriers. It's an ecosystem of diversity seeking to realize justice. And to even imagine that every person should contribute an equal amount of money or time or talent really is to erase our differences. To think that way is to ignore our varied levels of privilege, resources, opportunities, struggles. To imagine fair or equal shares is to obliterate the beauty of interdependence and mutuality. So what are we to do? Honestly, I think it's pretty simple, even though it's a big paradigm shift. We just need to open ourselves to grace. We share the ministry. We trust that those who can do what they can do. Those who can offer financial support, give what they can. Those who can give time and expertise can give that. Those who can't give time, maybe they become ambassadors and support the congregation by inviting friends and neighbors. For those who need to be held, there are those with loving arms. For those who want to learn to be a leader, there are those who will mentor. For those who need a safe haven from bullying and persecution, there are those who will stand as allies. Those who can provide nourishment, bake pies, literally and metaphorically. Those who need to eat, eat. There's room at the table for everyone. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, and I trust you will, is to look at the many ways that you can participate in the shared ministry of this congregation as it lives out its mission. During the pledge campaign season, the month of March, show up to learn more about how we do money here. Go to a breaking bread dinner to share stories about how we can build the beloved community. If you're able, be generous with your financial giving. And when and if you need to say no, know that your response will be accepted as sacred, because we all trust that you're doing what you can given your current situation. And then don't let any measurements or comparisons or expectations discourage you from coming to the table to eat, because there's room at the table for everyone. It's not about fair shares, but rather about using our gifts, our life energy to create the world we dream of, and then letting grace and abundance flow without resentment, without comparison, without consideration of what's fair. This place, UUCW, is a self-sustaining tree of life where we care for one another and share our gifts with grace and with gratitude. Together, let us build the beloved community of which we dream. May it be so. Amen.
John Saxon wrote that just as our chalice flame cannot burn without oil, this religious community cannot survive or thrive without the financial as well as personal support of its members and friends, the oil that keeps the flame of our liberal religious faith alive and fuels the shared mission and ministry of this congregation. One way that UUCW helps address human needs and advance social justice in our community is through our Split the Plate program. Each month, we give half of all undesignated offerings to a nonprofit organization to help us live our Unitarian Universalist values and serve our community. Our Split the Plate partner for February is Safe and Sound. Safe and Sound is a Milwaukee-based nonprofit located just north of the Sherman Park area. It is a community development organization whose mission is to unite residents, youth, law enforcement, and community resources to build safe and empowered neighborhoods. To help support Safe and Sound, go to the UUCW's website, the Donate tab, and select Split the Plate from the menu, or text or email your donation today using the information found here. Let us now give freely and generously an offering to sustain and strengthen our shared religious community, a community of memory, hope, faith, and love, for we are now the keeper of its flames that burns for justice, its dream of beloved community, and its vision of a world made whole. Thank you for your generosity to Safe and Sound. We will now gratefully receive your offering.
Keep on giving for your kindness. I'm in debt to you for your selflessness, my admiration for everything you've done. You know I'm bound to thank you for it. La 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 You've been so kind and generous. I don't know how you keep on giving for your kindness. I'm in debt to you, and I never could have come this far without you. For everything you've done, you know I'm bound to thank you for it. La 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 la. Generosity, the love and the honesty that you gave.
Please join me in the words of dedication found in your order of service and on the screen. To the work of this community, which is to ground ourselves in love and joy and to act for inclusion and justice, we dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings. Like the community in the story Matt told earlier, working together to sustain the tree of life, we are working together to sustain and protect our beautiful planet and all of its beings. Because of the earth we are, and in gratitude for the earth and the many, many gifts we receive, we sing. So please rise in body and our spirit to join me in singing number 163, For the Earth Forever Turning. Join me in saying a silent word of thanks for all who made this morning possible, including Larry and Kaleidoscope and Matt and Maya and Jess and our whole staff, our RE volunteers and all the folks on today's hospitality teams. Now it's time to kind of get those juices flowing because it's just about time to eat pie. Thanks to our stewardship team, there is pie for everyone. And remember that there's always the option to join Afterthoughts upstairs in UL4. You can take your pie there. So I invite you to join hands if that works for you. These are the words of Adam Slate, sharing our blessings. We end our gathering with gratitude for camaraderie, shared wisdom, goodwill, and the support that we extend to each other within this community. May we continue to bless each other with these gifts, and may we reflect back these blessings out into the world as we minister to those around us. Blessed be, Ashe, and Amen.
Room at the table.
Let our hearts not be hard, and to those living on the margin, there is room at the table. Everyone, this is where it all begins. This is how we gather in. There is room at the table. for everyone. Too long we have wandered, burdened and undone. There is room at the table for everyone. Let us sing the new world in. This is how it all begins. There is room at the table for everyone.
There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone.
Here and now we can be beloved community. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone.
There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone.
Let our hearts not be hardened to those living on the margins. There is room at the table for everyone. And this is how we gather in. This is how it all begins. There is room at the table for everyone. Room at the table.
Everyone,
Room at the table for everyone. There is room at the table. Everyone. There is room at the table for everyone.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Kaleidoscope. Thank you.
Let's go have some pie.
It's time for
Let's have some
pie.
pie.